Sorry. Can you put the bhaja? Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara More Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Kara More Toma bina kerayalo jagada sangsare Patita pavana hetu Sabhayavata Poliye Mosama patita prabhu na paibe ara Ha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripavalo Kana Karo Ami Bada Dukhi Change. Daya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava kripa pale pai Chaitanya Nitai Aswarup sanatana ruparaguna Bata Juga Sri Jiva Prabhu Lokana Daya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Naruttamada Ramachandra Sangamage Naruttamada Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karamore Tama bina kahe dayalo jagara sangsare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. There is one host in this conference.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
All
Rama,
participants are
Hare
muted, and they can unmute
Hare.
themselves.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. बोलिए Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna. Boliye. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama. Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayo Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Gora Nitai, Jai Gora Nitai. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Sunday program here at ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Today's topic is the change of heart. We're going to discuss the pastime of Lord Chaitanya going to Gaya and meeting Ishvara Puri. And before that, we'll offer our respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Prabhupada and our spiritual masters and all the Vaishnavas. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamhayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadam maham vande Sri Guru Dinotaranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyeshwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasundubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So if we would have known that today was a big mela, we would have probably chosen a different topic, like Lord Chaitanya's accepting all the offerings of his devotees during Mahaprakash. That would have probably been more appropriate, but maybe we'll get there, see how we go, with the storyline, how fast we progress. A few weeks ago, I was walking in Govardhan with one of my mentors, Burijan Prabhu. And I was walking with him just from Govardhan ISKCON Palace to his humble dwelling, which is about a 5-minute walk just behind it. And as we were walking, he was telling me, Navina Prabhu, there is something I was wanting to tell you for the past 2 years. Now that's a pretty good introduction, right? And now he's a master teacher, so he knows how to capture the attention of the students. If somebody tells you there is something I wanted to tell you for 2 years, can you hold something in your head for 2 minutes without telling it? Is it possible? It's hard, right? Because you want to tell it, because it's something urgent, something important. You want to immediately let people know. Do you ever have that urge during japa? You want to send some message? And the hand is already, but you say, no, I'm not going to do it. I got to focus now. I got to do my japa, right? And your phone is in flight mode. You're not going to touch it. But the mind is already going there. So anyway, he was saying, I was wanting to tell you something for the past 2 years. Here is one of my mentors. He has something on his mind. And for 2 years, he didn't tell it to me. Now, obviously, that made me a little curious. Why didn't he tell it to me? We met in between. Was I not ready to hear it? Was there not a suitable occasion? Or what was the reason? So anyhow, that's just to catch your attention. We're getting into the story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as... In which form do we worship him? What is the form of Lord Chaitanya that we worship? That means golden, very merciful, Adarya. So we don't worship him as a sannyasi. We worship him as Vishwambar, Navadvip, Nimai. That is the form how we worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very merciful, very magnanimous. If you study Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, the Adi Leela and the Antya Leela have a slightly different mood, slightly different ras. In Adi Leela, in the beginning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Nimai. And Nimai is a very naughty boy. Haribol, Kesha. Now I know you are never naughty, but Nimai was supremely naughty. Whenever you discuss this pastime, sometimes people ask, why is he doing this? Why is he pulling all these pranks? Why is he doing all this stuff? Because when the Lord appears, he is the supremely naughty. Huh? You want to hear how he was naughty? Yeah? You would like to know? But you cannot imitate, okay? Promise? Promised. Promised? Okay, good. So what he would do was, him and his friends, they would sometimes You know, in former times when people were cultured, they didn't have bathrooms in their house. Bathrooms were outside. So, in the night, they would go to the houses and they would lock the doors with ropes. So, in the morning, when people wanted to go outside to respond to call of nature, they could not go outside because the door was locked. But you know, first nature calls, and then nature screams, and then nature cries. And they were cultured people. They could not do it in the house, so they had to go outside, but they could not go outside. Meanwhile, Nimai and his friends were there laughing and having great fun, and then they ran away. Every day they would go to Ganga. Every day they would go to bathe in the river. And whenever there were some Brahmins who were standing in the river chanting Gayatri, half submerged in water, Nimai would go under the water, and he would take water in his mouth, and he would come out of the water in front of the Brahmin and go, and just splash it, squirt it in their face, spitting water at them. Sometimes they would dive under the water and they would grab people by the feet and just pull their feet, and they would just be submerged in water. At other times, when nobody was watching, they were taking mud. And as the Brahmins had nicely bathed and put on fresh tilak, and they were completely clean, they would throw wet mud on them and then run away. Oftentimes, these people will come and they will complain to Jagannath Mishra that your son Nimai is a very naughty boy and you have to punish him. So Jagannath Mishra would come to the Ganga, but Nimai, he had his spies. Like you have your spies, right? You have your friends. So when your dad is coming to catch you, then the friends come and say, hey, dad's coming. Get out of here. So Nimai went back a different way to his home. And Jagannath Mishra went to Ganga. He didn't find Nimai. He came back home. And there was Nimai covered in dust. And he had ink spots all over his hands and shirt from being a good boy in school, studying. So he was puzzled. He was bewildered. What are they talking about? Why are they thinking that my son is doing all these things? I think there's some politics. It's not just some confusion going on. So anyhow, Nimai was supremely naughty. Later on, he became a great scholar. He was known as Nimai Pandit. And he would argue with everybody, just for the sake of argument. Like sometimes you have people like that also in your companies, right? They just become smart-ass, right? They just know it better. They just want to prove a point and they want to prove you wrong. That is their only happiness in life. So Nimai was like that, but to the utmost extreme. He would walk on the street and anybody who he would meet, he would challenge them and say, tell me, what's your philosophy? And then he would defeat them. And then, that was not enough. Then he would defeat his own argument. And then he would reestablish the old original argument. And that left the other person completely puzzled and bewildered. And then he would just walk away. And he would do this not once or twice, but every day. So much so that when people would meet him on the road, they would just go to the other side of the road, just not to get into trouble. Because they knew, this kid is trouble. We don't want to talk to him. And especially the Vaishnavas, like Gadadhar. Gadadhar Pandit was just feeling so much pain because he saw Nimai is so intelligent. He's so effulgent. He's so scholarly. But he's such an argumentative and arrogant kid that he just wanted to avoid him. And one time, Nimai told Gadadhar, Gadadhar, right now you're trying to avoid me. But very soon there will be a time when you're just longing and looking to be in my association, and you cannot leave my side. So everybody was bewildered and mesmerized. Then some things happened. Jagannath Mishra passed away from this world. And by the way, is anyone here for the first time? No. Okay, it's all our regular crowd, so it's okay. So Lord Chaitanya, Nimai Pandit, he went to Gaya, because when your father passes away, you're supposed to go to Gaya to offer Pinda, Shraddha, and worship the lotus feet of Vishnu. So he went to Gaya, which is in Bihar, and there's a beautiful temple with the lotus feet of Vishnu. And he went there to offer his prayers, his obeisances, and while he was going on the way there, he fell sick, and he got high fever. And nobody knew what to do. So he told them, bring me the foot wash of a Brahmin, of a pure Brahmin. And he drank that water and he was cured. So he was showing respect towards the Brahmins. Then while he was in Gaya, he performed Shraddha for his father, and he went to all the different holy places. And he met his guru, Ishwarapuri, who formerly visited Navadvip and had taken prasad in the house of Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra. And in fact, Ishwarapuri just happened to appear when Nimai Pandit was cooking his meal. And he was cooking just for himself because he was alone. And Ishwarapuri just appeared, and Nimai said, hey, this is my great fortune. Please sit down. And then Ishwarapuri said, but you cook for yourself. Why, let us share the meal together. And he said, no. You're my worshipful superior. And he humbly served him prasad, and he reminisced the occasion when Ishwarapuri had visited their house in Navadvip. And then later on, he was so mesmerized by the sincerity, devotion, and affection of Ishwarapuri that he took Diksha. He took initiation from Srila Ishwarapuri. And after taking initiation from Srila Ishwarapuri, he was a completely changed person. Stopped arguing, stopped picking fights, stopped throwing things. In fact, he was so much absorbed in chanting Hare Krishna that his students who went with him to Gaya could not recognize him anymore. When he came back to Navadvip, they expected him to resume school. But for the first 10 days, all he would do was speak about the glories of the holy name. And he would explain grammar, rhetoric, alphabet, philosophy, psychology, politics, sociology, everything according to the holy name of Krishna. And at the end of the day, he would ask his students, so what did you learn today? And they said, it was all beautiful. It was all amazing. It was all true. It was all about the glorious holy name of Krishna. And Nimai Pandit realized that I can't do this any longer. So he packed up his books and he said, you're all free to go home now. Your study is complete. I have taught you what I could teach you. Now, just carry on with your life. And they said, thank you very much. We have gotten the most valuable, precious gift. In fact, for us, there is nothing to learn anymore. It is time for us to move on. So, there was a very distinct change of heart. Now, we may think Lord Chaitanya is the same person. Why is he doing this? Because he is the supreme teacher. He is the supreme example. So he's teaching by his own example and by the example of his devotees. And that is called Apani Achari Bhakti Shikainu Sabhare. So in this way, he was instructing the world by his own example. Now we're going to read a few verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, 17th chapter. The pastimes of Lord Chaitanya in his youth. And we're starting off from text number 4. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Vidya Saundharya Sadvesha Sambhoga Nritya Kirtanai Prema Nama Pradana Ischa Gauro Divyati Yovane. Exhibiting his scholarship, beauty, and fine dress, Lord Chaitanya danced and chanted as he distributed the holy name of the Lord to awaken dormant love of Krishna. Thus, Lord Sri Gaura Sundar shone in his youthful pastimes. So what happened was, instead of having debates and instead of having school, they just had kirtan. Would you like that, Keshav? No more school, just kirtan? No, right? You like school. Yeah, you can't wait to get back to school. So class was dismissed, only kirtan was going on. And not only kirtan in one locale, but he would take kirtan all over Navadvipa, 9 islands. They were moving in a big area. And at nighttime, they were doing kirtan at Shriva Sangam. But the first kirtan happened where? Now I know you had a lot of prasadam, but where was the first kirtan? No. Shuklan Ba Das Brahmachari, in his home. That's the first place where they all met together and witnessed the new ecstatic Nimai Pandit, who was just fully absorbed in chanting Harinam. He was crying, he was dancing, he was shivering, he was exhibiting ecstatic symptoms. And people were mesmerized. People were really, truly astonished about the change of heart. Now, when we speak of change of heart, what does it mean, heart? Heart is not just a physical organ. It is the seat of consciousness, Cheta. It is where the soul resides. So when our consciousness, our mindset changes, it means somebody has a change of heart. Oftentimes, we're wishing for a change of heart, but we're asking ourselves, is it possible? Will I ever have a change of heart? Shrinvata svakata Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantaksto hiya badrani vidunoti suritsatam. Srimad Bhagavatam states that it's possible to have a change of heart, but it's not about external differences. It's about hearing and chanting about Krishna, about spiritual transcendental subject matters in the association of devotees. That will transform, that will change a heart. Now again, Lord Chaitanya, he symptomized this change of heart as the universal teacher. For us, we know he's the same person before, he's the same person after, but this is lila, this is pastime. So you can't say, oh, it's just, like when you're in a drama. Did you see the drama before? People are playing different roles in drama, right? And it kind of spoils the fun when you say, oh, no, this is Keshav. No, it's not Keshav. He's playing, Keshi demon, right? So, but then when you say he's Keshav, that will ruin the fun. You have to say, no, this is Keshi. Is this one, this that one, is the other person. Otherwise, it spoils the bhav. It spoils the ras. So, and what was his new self? What was his new personality? As he entered his youth, the Lord decorated himself with ornaments, dressed himself in fine cloth, garlanded himself with flowers, and smeared himself with sandalwood. Text 6. Can we have some help? Thank you. By dint of pride in his education, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not caring for anyone else, defeated all kind of learned scholars while executing his studies. 7. In his youth, the Lord exhibited his ecstatic love of Krishna on the plea means pretext, of disturbances of the bodily airs. Accompanied by his confidential devotees, he enjoyed various pastimes in this way. Thereafter, the Lord went to Gaya. There he met Srila Ishwar Puri. In Gaya, I think there's a purport there. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gaya to offer respectful oblations to his forefathers. This process is called Pindadan. In Vedic society, after the death of a relative, especially one's father or mother, one must go to Gaya and there offer oblations to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, hundreds and thousands of men gather in Gaya daily to offer such oblations or shraddha. Following this principle, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also went there to offer pinda to his dead father. Fortunately, he met Ishwara Puri there. And text 9, in Gaya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was initiated by Ishwar Puri, and immediately afterwards, he exhibited signs of love of Godhead. He again displayed such symptoms after returning home. And then in a purport, Prabhupada quotes some of the pastimes that we already mentioned. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered the most merciful incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rupa Goswami prays, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha. He's the most magnanimous, he's the most merciful. Why? Because in all other incarnations, Krishna is pretty strict. He says, you surrender, and after you surrender, then I'll give you. But you see, Lord Chaitanya, what is his mudra? What position does he have? This. What does this mean? Any idea? Take. Just take. It means free gift. Just take. It's for everybody. Just take it. And not just take it, he's even running after people to give them. So much liberal, so much merciful. Yet sometimes when we study his later pastimes as a sannyasi, we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quite strict. He chastised certain people. He excluded them. He was quite severe in his behavior. But while he was in Navadvip, in this particular situation, he was completely magnanimous. He was completely giving. And of course, we always have Lord Nityananda. So if you think Lord Chaitanya is too strict and too severe, Lord Nityananda, who is representing the spiritual master, he's always there. And he's the one who liberated Jaga and Madai, who were very fallen and very terrible personalities. But by his compassion and by his tolerance, he won over their hearts. So, Nimai Pandit was known as Vishwambar, the Lord, the soul, the master of the universe. And his behavior changed to such an extent that people didn't know if this was the same person anymore. Formerly, they would try to avoid him at all costs. Now, all of a sudden, he came to the Ganges, but with a different purpose. He came there and he washed people's clothes. He said, can I carry your water? Can I carry your clothes? He would help people put on tilak. He would do all these different sevas, humble services. And people were mesmerized. What happened to this kid? What went on? And instead of roaming around with his band of friends, terrorizing everybody, they were doing kirtan all throughout Navadvip, chanting and dancing in ecstasy and love of God. So it was a complete change. And people were totally enamored. They were completely bewildered. Some were still a little hesitant. They didn't know, is this just some show? Is this just another one of his pranks? Will he switch around and change again? So Vishwambar he went up to them, he begged them, he pleaded with them, with tears in his eyes, please take the holy name. Please chant Hare Krishna. Please serve Krishna. This will change your life. And people became affected. People became seriously affected by his mood. Now, later on, when he manifested his opulence, and he manifested his godhood, he manifested his supremely worshipful side. In the house of Srivas Thakur, he sat on the throne of Vishnu, and he accepted the prayers and the offerings of his devotees. And they brought him all kinds of oblations, all kinds of gifts and food. And he accepted everything. He consumed everything. And that shows that the Lord is capable of receiving all the affection and all the love and all the gifts and all the prayers of his devotees. We are very limited in our own ways, as you may have noticed today. How much can you eat? It's limited, right? I mean, the eyes have another idea, and the hands, but then the stomach says no more. It's getting counterproductive. It's becoming painful. But Krishna, he can eat unlimitedly. Why? Because he is unlimited. So he would accept all these offerings of his devotees. And they were very, very affectionate. And then, of course, we know he left it all behind. He made the supreme sacrifice. And he went and took sannyas and went to Puri. So, why do we choose this pastime? Because, personally speaking, I'm praying for a change of heart. So, it's inspiring, it's endearing to hear about somebody who actually did it and showed by his own personal example what it means and what that change of heart will entail. Sometimes we think, yes, we're in the association of devotees and we're kind of doing what we're supposed to be doing, but we're not so much different, kind of the same person, speaking for myself. So when will that change of heart come? When we're actually longing to be in the association of devotees, when we're actually longing to serve devotees, when we're actually longing to do humble menial seva and please the Vaishnavas. When will that day come? So, you might be wondering, I don't know, are you wondering, when will that day come? Because the moment you think you have arrived, the moment you think you're done, you're done. If you think I finished my exam, I've learned what I had to learn, then you're done. There's no more, nothing can go in after that. So what is my eagerness? What is my anxiety? What is my aspiration? Would you like to hear what Burijan Prabhu wanted to tell me? Yes. You sure? Yes. I waited 2 years till he told it to me. I may have to make you wait another 2 years. When you're 7, I'm going to tell you. Is that okay? Or you want to know now? Okay, you let me stay in your room for 10 days, so I will tell you. Okay? So first of all, he said, Navina, this is the most important time of your life. Okay, this is another one, like, this puts you on the spot, right? It's like, okay, better pay attention, like, he's speaking now, Mahavakya. All right. Live a life of preparation. Go slow, go deep. Don't worry about all these people who you think right now are obstacles. They're just blogging up the system. Do you have people in your company or you have people in your organization that you think they're just hindering the progress, they're not really contributing to the cause? Don't worry about them. Live a life of preparation. Go deep. Be patient. Then he said 3 questions you have to ask yourself. Question number 1. Keami. Who am I? What is my identity? It's a very important question because that question will define our course of action. And as a master teacher, he answered that question himself. He said, I'm a servant. I'm a servant. It's very simple. Any other identification is simply a designation. Last week, Anantadev Prabhu was beautifully speaking about our primary identities and our secondary identities. We may have so many secondary identities, like this is my position in the job, this is my position in family, in society, in other types of organizations. But our primary identity is what? Krishna Das. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. This is my primary identity. And the second question that we should ask ourselves is, who is my Ishtadev? Who is my worshipful Lord of the heart? Or in modern language, what occupies the sacred space in my heart? Everybody has to answer that question for themselves. Look into your hearts right now and ask yourself, what occupies the sacred space of my heart? What is there? Some people may wonder, what is that? Sacred space in my heart? Something supposed to be there? Huh? Yes. So who do we worship? Who is our dear most worshipful Lord? And number 3, what is your contribution to this movement? What is it that you want to contribute to this ISKCON society? Now, we may do so many things to keep afloat, to keep our work going, but we should ask ourselves, what is our contribution to this society? And that means living a life of preparation. Prabhupada waited 11 years from he met his guru the first time till he took Diksha. And how long did it take till he went to the West? 22 he met him. 65 he went to the West. 43 years. The order of the spiritual master can be postponed, but it cannot be neglected. When Guru gives you an instruction, you may not be able to carry it out immediately, but we should accept it as our life and soul and start working towards preparing ourselves, getting ourselves ready so we can actually fulfill that order, that instruction. Knowing fully well that in the instruction, the empowerment to carry out the order is already contained. So everyone can make a unique contribution. And as a 4th point, and that is the bonus point that I would add here, that I want to give you. What are you or what are we ready to sacrifice to achieve that contribution? If you want to get something, you have to give something. What did Lord Chaitanya do? Nimai Pandit shaved off his beautiful black curly hair, gave up his family and friends, and hit the road. Went on pilgrimage. Went to Puri. Why? Because he saw that there were certain classes of people who would not take him seriously. They thought, oh, he's the same Nimai, he's the same guy, we know him, we remember him, we know all the things he did. He's our Nimai. So he knew I had to get out of this situation, out of this setting, out of this social circle in order to have bigger impact on the world. And he was ready to do whatever it took, pay the price of sacrifice in order to achieve his goal. What was his goal? To make his unique contribution. What was his unique contribution? Prithivitachetanagaradigram sarvatrat prachara hoy bimoranam. That the holy name should be spread in every town and village of the world. Not just in Navadvip, not just in Bengal, not just in Orissa, not just in India, but all throughout the world. And for that he sacrificed. Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, in Radha Damodar temple at the lotus feet of Rupa and Sanatan, doing his bhajan, doing his writing. You have all been there. You know what it's like. It's a place where you feel like, this is it. This is perfect. I don't need to go anywhere. Let me just stay here. Let me just die here. But he left that place. And he went to New York, to the Bowery, to the most degraded place. So he left behind Vrindavan, the spiritual abode, in order to make his contribution. In Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantra, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshatarine. You know what Paschatya Deshatarine means? Western world. Why didn't it say the whole world, the whole universe? Why does it say Western world? Any idea? That was his Guru Maharaj's order. That was his Guru Maharaj's specific injunction, that this is what I want you to do. And that's why it's there. Very specific. So in case you might be wondering, why am I stuck here in Bay Area traffic, working a job, and I'm not sure I'm going to get out ahead, or I'm not sure I'm going to get out alive? Have you ever asked yourself this question? I went up to Concord, and I'm not sure who has been conquered or who's trying to conquer whom, because everyone's stuck in traffic up there. Seriously stuck. And I had a few of these moments of questions, and I'm sure you have too. So what is Krishna's plan? Why has he put us here? But then when we go a little deeper and we ask ourselves these questions and we start churning our heart and our minds, then hopefully we'll come up with some plausible reflections, some plausible ideas of why Krishna has put us here, what is his plan, and how can we play along with Krishna's desire, with Krishna's plan, and become an empowered instrument. The last few days were very momentous. I was very blissful watching all of you here doing this nice mela of prasadam distribution. And I felt it was like Panihati Chidadahi Utsav, you know? People were standing all around, munching away on prasadam in all kinds of situations, like in the Panihati, in the original Utsav, where people were standing in the water and they're sitting on rocks and here and there and everywhere. Everywhere Vaishnavas, everywhere prasad, everywhere Harikatha, everywhere blissful faces and smiling and people running around. It was wonderful. Similarly, yesterday on Market and Powell, wherever you turn your head, there was some Vaishnav standing there with books, you know. And it was like in that game, you know, between the hare and the porcupine and the rabbit, you know. Who is faster? Everywhere where people trying to escape, already devotees are there. And, and they're giving them books. And everyone is people with books under their arms. It was literally beautiful. So much so that it was hard for people to escape that momentous occasion. Why? Because somebody sacrificed. You all sacrificed your time. You could have done something else. Could have stayed home. Could have gone down to the mall. No, you chose to go out on Sankirtan. And because of that sacrifice, because of that yagya, some beautiful result came. And I'm sure you've had some experience when people look at you and they go like, is this for real? Is this for me? Are you sure you want to give this to me as a gift? And they're seriously touched in their hearts. Have you had experiences like that? Yes or yes? Please say yes. Are you sure? Sometimes people can't believe it. They're like seriously affected that somebody out of the blue that they never seen or met of before hands them 3 beautiful books and says, "This is for you. I want you to have this. It will be good for you." And then just with a smile walks away. Huh? It's seriously life-changing experience. Huh? I sometimes just walked around and then when afterwards went up to these people and talked to them, and many of them were handing me money because they just felt, you guys you're too generous. You can't do this. Just go out and, mess with people's lives like that. We call it random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness. Just put it out there. Just like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing his Sankirtan pastime, even though certain peoples were still critical, neutral, inimical, but because there was so much mercy splashing around, the whole world got inundated. And some people were drowning, and those who were a little critical, they were just floating. Huh? So those who were a little bit of a devious or critical mindset, they could not fully dive deep, but still they were floating on the nectar. But the devotees, they were drowning. Huh? They were drowning in the mercy of Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada has broken open the storehouse of love of Godhead in the same mood like Lord Nityananda. And he has plundered the contents, just like we're plundering the book room. Sometimes I come to the book room and I open the book room and it's all empty. And it's the worst experience you can have. It's like, where are the books? They're gone. What happened? Let me call, Malini, what happened? Where are the books? I need books. And they're gone. Can you imagine? It's a serious crisis. Huh? But then, of course, there are more books. Huh? And you fill it up and you empty it and you fill it up and you empty it. So there's a competition going on in the spiritual world. Who can serve Krishna better? But there is no envy. There is no maliciousness. Yes, there is some struggle. Who can do better service? Who can do better cooking, better dressing? Who can do better preaching? But there's no envy. There's no belittling others. There's no discrediting others. There's no trying to stop others. It's a movement of abundance. There's plenty for everybody. So when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when we read Chaitanya Bhagavat, we get absorbed in this mood of audharya, of giving, that there is unlimited opportunities, that there's unlimited resources, because everything comes from Krishna and everything should be used for Krishna. And if I can just be a small part, a small instrument, a small witness of this miracle, that will be wonderful. That will be perfect. And Gadadhar, who previously tried to avoid Lord Chaitanya, Sachi Mata told him, because you are speaking such nice Krishna Katha that is soothing and pacifying and calming my Nimai, you should never leave the side of Vishwambar. Never stay away from him. Always be with him. So he's safe. So he doesn't go into his frantic, ecstatic moods. So you can keep him somewhat pacified. And he would narrate Srimad Bhagavatam. He would talk Harikatha all day and all night. And continuously be with Lord Chaitanya. So to the degree that we're able to appreciate Vaishnavas, to that degree we'll be able to avail ourselves of their association by sharing in Harikatha, Harikirtan, and Krishna Prasad. Hare Krishna. So, any questions, reflections, additions, or requests? Yes, Prabhu. Microphone in the back.
How do we know that we are floating on the waves of the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or if we are deep diving inside the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
If we are?
If we are floating, whether we are floating or whether we are diving deep into the mercy of the love of Godhead or mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Was it a question or a comment?
Question.
How do we know?
Yeah, whether we are floating or drowning or diving
Well,
deep in.
as I've mentioned, if our mindset is critical and we have a somewhat separatist attitude and we try to find faults, then at best we are floating. But if we are having a humble service attitude and we sincerely want to contribute to this mission, then most likely you will be drowning. Any other points? In the back? Now, for some of you, this topic may be a little intense, what we're talking about here, change of heart. But I thought, since you had a big feast and you're going to have another big feast, you need to have a little bit of a, a little bit of gap, a little bit of a, something to increase your fire of digestion. Yes.
Yeah, I had a question. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back from Gaya, he was actually doing some kirtan and Shiva Sangan for a while. That was a private only invitation, not everyone could get in. So what was the purpose of that?
The purpose of that, of the Shriva Sangam pastime, is that there's different settings. And according to the setting, according to the surrounding, the presentation is different. Like when you give a public address in your company, you speak differently than when you speak at the dinner table, right? Or when you speak to your wife or your intimate friend. It's a different type of talk. You're the same person, but it's a different type of approach, so to speak. So in Shriva Sangam, it was only the close circle, the inner core of the devotees who were not floating, but drowning deep in the nectar of Krishna consciousness. And outside presentation was slightly different because it was for public. It's for public. Is it clear? Just to give you an example. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went out on the street to perform kirtan, they would have a aesthetically pleasing presentation. It was arranged in such a way that it was relatable. People could appreciate it. It was aesthetically pleasing. The way they were dressed, the way the mridangas, the kartals, the dancers, the singers, everything was orchestrated very nicely. It's just like when you take part in an official reception. Everybody dresses nice and everybody behaves nice, right? At least that's supposed to be the standard, right? But when you're with your intimate friends, you can throw food around. And it's just heightening your appreciation and your love, right? And we have all done it. So we have to know what is the setting and what is the context in order to be able to appreciate the interaction. One time in Shriva Sangam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not feeling the ecstasy, so he stopped the kirtan and he said, somebody's here who is not supposed to be here. I'm not feeling the ecstasy. They were chanting and dancing, but he did not feel that ecstasy in his heart. So they were searching the house, they were searching everywhere, and couldn't find anybody. So they continued, carried on with the kirtan. After a while again, Mahaprabhu stopped the kirtan. He said, no, something is wrong here. Somebody who's here who's not supposed to be here. Now, of course, everyone was very humble. They were looking, like, oh, maybe I'm being detected. Maybe they're going to kick me out, They spotted me. So then Srivas Thakur said, oh, there's this one brahmachari, he's simple brahmachari, lifelong celibate. He's just eating fruits, drinking milk. I'll put him in the basket, he's there somewhere hiding. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, throw him out. Who does he think he is? Just by being a brahmachari, just by drinking milk, you cannot attain Krishna. So the brahmachari was walking out, and in his heart of hearts, he was feeling very happy. He's feeling very ecstatic. Why? Because he had seen Lord Chaitanya dance and chant in ecstasy. And not only that, he had been personally chastised by Lord Chaitanya. And he took it, and he felt very grateful for that. And Lord Chaitanya, being Vishwambar, the soul of the universe, he's in the heart of that brahmachari. He said, no, call him back. It's okay. He can stay. And then he was part of the inner circle. So when you do yagya, when you do sacrifice, there's a little bit of tension, a little bit of anxiety, just like if you go into the kitchen and you cook. Like Radhavallabha Prabhu, he can tell us. There's a bit of tension, right? There's a bit of anxiety. Remember, we were burning that dal? And you don't know, is it going to just be a total disaster and a complete flop? Is Krishna going to be pleased? Are the Vaishnavas going to be pleased? There's anxiety. And this is Krishna anxiety. Do you have enough Krishna anxiety in your life? Right now, what is my anxiety? When is this class going to be over? How long is this guy going to talk? Is the feast going to be better than what I ate at noon? Like, when can I get back on my phone so I can talk to all my friends? Tomorrow I got to go to work, or I got to go to school. No, it's holiday. Oh, what I'm going to do? Is that my anxiety, or do I have Krishna anxiety in my life? So to the degree that we have Krishna anxiety in our life, to that degree, we'll be able to take part in the more intimate circle. Where the devotees are in continuous anxiety for Krishna service. That is the price that we have to pay. So if we say everything's fine, I'm all chill, it's all shanti, it's all good, everything peaceful, no anxiety, okay, at best you will be floating. You'll be a spectator. You may be able to witness something. You may get a glimpse, an idea. But if you want to dive into the nectar, you will be drowned in an ocean of anxiety. But that anxiety can be very sweet. It can be very blissful. Because in Krishna consciousness, even anxiety for Krishna is blissful. The gopis are in anxiety. They're in separation of Krishna. Maria Yasoda is worried about Krishna. Sachimata, continuously, she's thinking, what will my Nimai eat? No one's there to look after him. No one's feeding him. So she's cooking and offering food in Navadvip. And Lord Chaitanya is in Puri, but he says, my mother is calling me, I have to go there and eat her food. And sometimes the plates are empty, nothing is there left. And she doesn't know. What happened? Did an animal come and eat the offering? Did I forget to make the offering? And I was so bewildered. And she goes and checks in the kitchen the pots, and the pots are still full. So she cleans the plates, she puts again food, she puts it there. And then she cries tears thinking about her Nimai. This is all the favorite vegetables, his favorite preparations, but he's not here, and she's crying. And she looks and the food is gone. So if you want to enter the inner circle, there is a price to pay. And that is not monetary. That is not some external thing. But the buy-in is the 4 questions that we discussed. What are these 4 questions? Who am I? Number 2. What's in the sacred space of my heart? Who's my Ishtadev? Number 3. What is my contribution to this movement? And number 4. What am I ready to sacrifice, to give up, to achieve my desired objective? So this is something to chew on and to ponder and to meditate while this holy day, festival season is passing on. And from a Christian perspective, we know that Jesus also, he gave up his life for spreading his mission. And Christianity spread predominantly because of martyrs, people who were ready to give their lives. When you see people who are ready to give their lives, happily doing it, people become impressed by that. They start paying attention because of that. And that's one big way how Christianity spread. I'm not saying we need martyrs in Krishna consciousness and, we're asking you to make that sacrifice to give up your life. But in one way, all of you who are here, you have given up a certain part of your life. You've given up your hometowns. You've given up your family and friends and relatives back home. And you're here now. For what? For what reason? For what purpose? Job? Money? No, forget it. Krishna, yes. Krishna consciousness, definitely. Spreading the mission, yes, absolutely. That is meaningful. So, there is ample of opportunity to perform this blissful yajna of Harinam Sankirtan as it is being enunciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, the Panchatattva, and as it is made available by Srila Prabhupada through this ISKCON movement in such a tasty, relevant, and relatable way. Who will refuse dancing, chanting, and wonderful refreshments? Nothing wrong with that, right? It's perfect. It's wonderful. Yes, Shashi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhu. A lot of deep points, how the offerings should be made, like how Sachi Mata used to make offering compared to, sometimes how I do, offering for sake of offering and like...
Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. Let the whole supermarket be offered, right? The whole mall. Everything is prasad. Minus all the nasty things. What is offered, what is not offered, don't worry. Let God figure that out, right?
Prabhu, to the second question, who's your Ishtadev? Is it like which, is it like Narsimhadev or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Krishna? Is that the question that one needs to answer and one needs to figure out?
You look into your heart. Who is there? Who occupies your heart? Is it your Guru? Is it Prabhupada? Is it Mahaprabhu? Is it Radha Madan Mohan? Is it Radha Madhav? Radha Shyama Sundar? You got to know what's in there, Nobody can say, this is it, This is our party line, okay? Follow this. This is the one shoe size fits all product. We're a personalist movement. Murari Gupta was a Ram Bhakta. He was serving Lord Ram. And Mahaprabhu was teasing him and was joking with him. And he said, I want to give up my life. I cannot give away my worship of Lord Ram. I've given my heart. I've given my head. I'd rather die. I cannot just change it around and worship Radha Krishna. It's Sita Ram. This is it. Mahaprabhu embraced him and he said, you're Hanuman. And he looked and there was a tail. This is not drama. This is real. Whatever we think is real, that's drama. We had enough drama and enough trauma in our life. We don't need more of that. We want more substance. We want more real experience of Krishna consciousness. So when we hear these pastimes, we shouldn't think, oh yeah, nice stories, heard it before. Let me check what's new, what's the news? Because there's no news. I don't remember at all what your question was about.
You answered it, Prabhu, the Ishtadev. Who's the Ishtadev?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
All right, we got one more here and two more in the front. You got the mic, so you might as well use it.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So what was your response to Bhurijan Prabhu after he gave you this information that 2 years he was waiting for you? So what was your response?
My response? That is confidential. When you are together with your mentor, you can grieve, you can just put it all out there, and it's perfectly fine. Because you know that this person is so caring, so benevolent, and so concerned that they will not use anything against you. And that is very endearing. And especially if you have a person who has got nothing to gain from you. And still they make themselves available. Now, he's not my guru, he's not my authority, he's not my GBC, he doesn't get anything out of it. But still, he's extending himself. You know, that's endearing. So, and it's very much our tradition that we do that. We do sharing of our hearts and minds with other Vaishnavas, and we develop these loving, trusting, devotee relationships, because in this way we grow in Krishna consciousness. This is what we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is what we see in Chaitanya Bhagavat. So, that's what happened, what transpired. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for such a wonderful class. I really liked the 4 questions that you had told us to meditate upon, and the third one in particular stuck out to me. What should be our contribution to the movement? And I've been involved like 2-3 years max, and I find that I'm asking myself this question all the time because I just don't know. So I'm wondering, and especially with your experience, and you've made so many wonderful contributions to this movement, do you have any practical steps that we can take to figure out what our contribution will be or what it should be?
Thank you.
We'd just love to know.
Quoting Bhurijan Prabhu, just live a life in preparation and invest in yourself by patiently but diligently and in a dispassionate but methodological, methodological, thank you, way, apply yourself to this process. And then the contributions will become more clear or evident. Right now it's more like I got to get myself ready, you know, I have to prepare myself for whatever it is that's going to be my contribution. So initiation is not the end, it's the beginning. And then even from the point of initiation, it may take several years, sometimes decades, till it becomes fully manifest or clear. What is my role? What is my... And depending on our surrender to the level that we receive empowerment and Krishna's plan, then these things will become manifest. But all we can do is get up and put one step in front of the other, you know? You can just get up every day and do the simple things. But not just mechanical or externally, but by giving our undivided, full, heartfelt attention to them. Knowing fully well that I'm doing this for Krishna. Huh? And that's what makes it so special. That's what makes bhakti so special. That you can be out there on the parking lot picking up trash in the middle of the night and nobody sees you. You can be, and Prabhupada was doing it. He was sweeping the courtyard of Radha Damodar in the night. And no one was there. That was before social media. There was no disciples taking pictures and posting them and stuff like that. It was just the things that you do that nobody will notice. But you know that it's the right thing to do. And you're doing them to please Krishna. Not because there is a fruit, not because there is something for me in it that I will gain out of it. And you know, it's quite surprising. I've met hundreds of people who told me the core message, the core teaching, the core point of the Gita that stuck out for them was, what was it? Exactly. Karmanyeva dikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That's the point that's stuck in people's minds. That's attractive. If you see people just doing seva for the sake of doing seva. I was going to the Jain doctor, Nirada Gopinath, just behind some clinic before I could go for green card interview. And the guy asked me, "You're from Switzerland, why are you going to America?" I said, "Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there for me, from my perspective. There's nothing there." Literally. He said, "Why are you going?" I said, "Seva." He said, "Seva? People still do that?" I said, "Yes, many people. Radha Gopinath, just one block from here, a bunch of guys, all IIT Valas, they're doing seva, It still exists." He was like, wow. Because he had a waiting room full with about 80 people, all engineers, waiting for their doctor's appointment so they could ship out to go and do paisa. But seva is a different type of attitude. So, again, what is my motivation? Yes, you can have a family, you can have a job, you can have an income, that's all fine, but why am I doing it? It can be done for seva. I'm doing it to serve Krishna. I know I'm not the proprietor of my house, of my family, of my wife and children, of my bank balance. Otherwise, it's going to be a miserable, painful experience. Because everything in this world of names will be taken from us, one way or the other. Get used to the idea. But if we do it for seva, then Krishna gives us opportunities. Sometimes he takes opportunities. He gives other opportunities. I'm here to serve. And I tell it to everybody. And people get this idea. They get this concept on the street a lot. You have very intelligent people in your company, in your class, in your sports team. But if their attitude is not aligned with the purpose of the team, nobody wants them on the team. Have you met people like that? Super smart. Super brilliant, totally capable, but they cannot keep their ego under control. It has to be all about them. And therefore nobody wants them on the team because they're trouble. So in bhakti, we're trying to take ourselves out of the center by putting Krishna in the center and working together as a team to glorify and satisfy Krishna. And in this way, it can become very beautiful. Is that okay?
Thank you. More than okay.
So wherever you start off and where you end up, even though it may seem like light years away, it's still part of the same trajectory. But knowing fully well that Krishna has a plan, and he will manifest that plan according to our ability to appreciate and cooperate. Right now it may look frightening. Like Prabhupada said, he met his Gurudev, and the first moment he touched his head to the ground, he said, "You should go and preach in English-speaking language," and boom, first time he just got up from offering obeisances, and boom, the instruction came right flying at him. And he was just in his early 20s, he just had a son, business, everything. That's pretty frightening. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur just looks point blank at him and gives him his life's mission. And then having the patience, the diligence, the alacrity, the wherewithal to prepare himself to build up, to execute that mission. So again, to your question, it may take some time. Right now, we're all spiritual, infants, speaking for myself, beginners. And so Krishna, he will give us realization and opportunities according to our ability and to our degree. We had one more here. Your question is answered. Okay. We got time for one more.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful and inspiring lecture. I really like the point where you are mentioning the mood of longing, that when will the change of heart will happen. So it's a very nice mood. Otherwise, we meet many people who say, I saw Krishna yesterday in the dream and I'm already Krishna conscious. In fact, Narottam Das Thakur or Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a beautiful song, Kabe habe balo shei din amar aparadha ghochi shuddha name rochi kripa bole habe hridaye sanchar. So I really like this wonderful mode of longing that you mentioned, which is in line with all the previous acharyas' mode.
Thank you for sharing your heart with us. And I'm sure many of you are longing for the end of this class. And it is nearly there. Not much separating you. I'm very happy and actually excited to be here at ISV because I see so many wonderful devotees, friends, and collaborators in this great mission of Lord Chaitanya. And that is true unity, that is true strength, when we can all join hands together to glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through the performance of this Sankirtan. This is the Yuga Dharma. This is the process for transforming our own selves and the face of the world by participating in this Harinam Sankirtan. So whatever you're doing here, this is the most important time of your life. Live a life in preparation. Go deep and be patient, knowing fully well that Krishna has a plan. And I can be a small part, a small instrument in this plan. That is a great aspiration, that is a great longing, that is the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is the mood of the six Goswamis, who didn't say, I have attained Krishna, I have Krishna. They were always crying, where is Krishna, where is Radha, where is devotional service? They were always eager, anxious to serve in the association of Vaishnavas. Just like in this beautiful bhajan that we sang in the beginning. What's the last line? Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamadas. So he's hankering. He's not hankering. Who is he hankering for? Is he hankering for Guru? Is he hankering for Krishna? He's hankering for the association of his friend. He's not even his god brother. He's his friend. That's where his heart is. This is Vaishnav. This is real. So thank you for being real in Krishna consciousness. It's refreshing. It's endearing. It's attractive. And thank you for being here and making ISV vibrant and super special. And from here, I'm convinced it can spread to many parts of the world. And thank you also for tolerating me in your midst, even though I have many shortcomings and faults. Somehow I've been allowed to participate here in this Sangha. Even though undeserving, I feel very blessed somehow to be here and to witness, even though I feel sometimes like that outsider who may witness the Kirtan at Sriva Sangam, because in my heart, I'm somewhere else. I'm not fully present. So thank you for allowing me to be here and take part in this wonderful experience. Srila Prabhupada ki, Harinam Sankirtan ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hare Krishna. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.